Hi, this is Christelle Martinette, and I'm here. This is just a short video as an introduction to my new style, my new podcast. This is an introduction to my October readings, because many of you were of two minds asking me, well, we like to see the video because we like to see the cards. And those of you who wrote in saying that the podcast, you preferred the podcast, said, well, it really makes me listen more carefully. And I have to say, I too am of two minds, because I do like to show the cards. I really do. But I can't deny that I really have a strong sense of connection when I turn off the video and when I use my voice and just listen. So in this intro, well, first of all, let me show you this. I'm doing this because a colleague of mine, well, a friend of mine said, oh, that warlock, that marionette, it just is the creepiest thing, but it's harmless. It's a true marionette. And I just wanted to show it to you so you don't get freaked out by it. This was, it's a handmade marionette, and I got this at the airport. You know how you're waiting on to board, and right next into the corner there was a shop that had all handmade marionettes, and it was so cute. Look at that hat. Look at that hat. So cute, so cute. And so, I just brought it here to make you see with me, so just relax. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is that I'm going to show you the deck of cards that I'll be using. So when I call on you and ask you to, even though I do them in a pre-recorded way, I'm going to channel and listen to the energies that I get from each individual sign. So let me first tell you that I'll be using the runes. I'll be starting with the runes casting. And I'll be using these tiger eyes runes because you can see them. The etching is fairly clear, and for me to see, when I usually read, it's usually dark, and so I like to be able to see them. And I'll be using those first. You'll hear them in the podcast. Then I have three different decks to use. The first is the Voodoo Tarot deck that I've used before. You've known that. This is the 14th Major Arcana, we can call that. Thibonage, the 20th Major Arcana, the Ancestors, just to give you a few. 0, the World Egg, and so on. Then we have a Santeria 2 card, Olofi, just to give you a few of the cards, just to give you an idea, but you know these more than the other two decks. And the next deck is the Tarot of Muja, de la Muja, who is an artist. And just to give you an idea of what they look like, this is the 11th card. What could that be? Justice. You can see that, maybe the 11th Major Arcana, that's Justice. This is who do we have here? The Emperor. Oops, the Emperor. Here we have the Hermit. Lovely cards, lovely cards. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let me put these away and show you another deck, which is the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And I've used this twice, 2 other times. This is the 9 of Cups. This is the version of the 9 of Cups. Whoa, the foot of my marionette has fallen. This is the High Priestess. High Priestess. This is the Magician. Let me see if I could get it better. Oh, the closer, the farther away I get it from the light, there it is, the better it is. And this is our Knight of Swords. Get a load of that, our Knight of Swords. There you are. Okay, so, but another reason why I wanted to give an introduction is that I wanted to thank a colleague, a fellow reader, for having sent me a person to work with. Thank you, Lou, Louisiana Lou. Why am I thanking her? The main reason is that it gave me the opportunity to fine-tune what I was doing. It was a particular case, and it made me able to speak about it and to give you, my experience with this person and to tell you how I work. So I thought it would clarify a lot of things. So in short, the person was looking for initially a black witch or a warlock, someone who could fight fire with fire in terms of black magic. Now, well, this is an expression in English, fight fire with fire, get the same intensity, because he felt that he was an object of black magic. Now, the person was looking for that, but then he came to me and I asked him to tell me what the story was about. And I was taking notes, and he told me that for decades he has been targeted with black magic. And I wanted, in some way, I invited him for a consultation, okay, to understand. And he prefaced the introduction of this whole story with a series of admonishments, of warnings, telling me that he had been to many other people before me, and none of them wanted to work with him because each one individually had suffered some kind of flash of negative energy towards them directly. One was threatened, her life was threatened, another fell ill with a serious illness for an extremely long time. And I let him talk. Like I said, I took notes, I asked my questions, and then I explained to him how I worked. Now, what I will explain to you is my form of white magic. Okay, we could call it white magic, but I just want to say that we can change the words around. It's all the same, just like any field, physics, linguistics. People have, and groups of people that work together have different ways of calling things, and in different countries they call the same phenomenon with another lexical item, all right? So, but what I want to say is that this is a form of white magic. It's a service that I provide and that I've listed on my website. First and foremost, I told him my diagnosis, that what he was experiencing was only one of many, far many other more serious blocks and restrictions that could be ailing him. And I started asking him a number of questions, but then I hit him with the fundamental question. What is your intention? What do you want to achieve by coming to me? And what he said was this: I want two things. One, I want to unmask the largest pedophile ring in the Northern Hemisphere. And two, I want to be able to receive adequate medical care, because in his country, in Ireland, he was negated that for several different reasons. Okay, I won't go into the political side to it now. And with that, having heard that, with those objectives, it put me in a position of being able to then do my magic, eliminating any negative influences on him, stopping him from achieving those goals. How? I was able to cut bonds, contracts, curses, and remove curses and vows, spells, anything, you name it, that were affecting him directly. The list is endless. Affecting him directly, and as a consequence, it would block the negative energy affecting him, and it would not target but contain those people, he listed names, first and last names, that were manipulating him throughout the decades. These people represent members of the clergy, solicitors, barristers, and politicians in that country. Now, one important thing is that there was no fear. I never, ever operate with fear. If I have to be fearful, I just say no. It's not a moment when I can work. The process was reversed, is reversed, because their initial energetic dealings and workings, or if we want to call it magic, were halted But we had, of course, this person who was in a wheelchair, who was dying, and ultimately was powerless, disempowered completely. And one thing then leads to another, and you get the press, you get someone to help you out, physicians to, okay, so it's a series of things that then change. Now, this is just to give you an idea of what how I work. Fundamental is not, and this is a suggestion for all other readers, all other energy workers, light workers, never work if you are fearful. And there's something that when someone comes to me, and I have seen a lot of different cases, okay? When I decide if I can work with you, and this is determined by a series of parameters linked to the nature of your soul, I never have to decide if I'm conditioned by fear or any other, or because it will create repercussions. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to say that. And thanks again, Lou. I appreciate that. Now off to the readings. Bye-bye.
Hello, Sagittarius. This is Christelle Martinette, and I'm here with this bag of tricks, this bag of runes, and I'm going to first cast the runes as I have said, and then we'll have you concentrate on which tarot deck or decks you would like me to use. Oh, okay. All right, we have 4 runes that have come out, and a cluster, very close cluster of runes. And interestingly, the 2 runes on the right are Merkstave, and which means upside down, and the 2 on the left, which is also interesting, do not have a position. Both Diag and Yera, any way you turn it, is always the same, which is extremely interesting. Now, what I have is Rido Merkstave right next to Yura, and I have Algis right next to Diag. What does this tell us? It tells us that your journey, and for many of you, you are on an actual vacation. You'll be away for a good part of the month of October. You're journeying. Your spiritual, and it is a spiritual journey, even if you are on a trip. It's a rather lengthy for many of you who have decided to take a fully fledged trip, taking a plane and going away. You're doing so to a land that you've never been to before, and you've taken a break in your normal style activity, and because between this last part of the year until you decided to move and take this trip, you have to take decisions, and so you decided to take this trip. But for others of you, and it will then, for those of you who are actually traveling, you'll see that the vacation will have you spending time meditating, not meditating Om type of meditating, but the type of vacation that has you sitting and watching people go by and thinking and just seeing what life is all about. And it's a really special moment of grace for you, because, like I said, this is a special time where you haven't done this before. It's as if you're going through a moment where you will never do what you have done in the past, and you're going to something new. Now, this has to do with people who are actually having a vacation. Now, those of you instead who are are journeying down into the other land, what I would call the other land, the land that brings you to a special space and time and place that it's not down the rabbit hole like Alice in Wonderland, but it's a special place where you're there alone, and you're there trying to understand, full of mirrors all around, and you're there all around, looking all around and trying to see a reflection of what's going on in your life. So this is more of a journeying to a stable place, a stability, a place where your mind takes you, Okay, now it's a space, it's a place where it does not have the ability to guard you, and it's not a safe house, it's not a safe place. It's a place where you go to see how far you can go. How far can I go? And you start thinking about. So it's an area where your mind journeys a bit. But what's interesting about this spread, I keep saying spread, it's casting, is that the casting itself draws and suggests a cross, like an X, like jacks that you used to play with as a child. For those of you, use a little ball, you throw them up and you throw the jacks. Here, they're crossing. The Brido Merkstave and Diag are crossed with the line of Yera and Algis. And what it tells you is that you're meditating time. This is the fundamental message of the month of October. In your own way, Sagittarius, and there are many of you out there, all different kinds, in your own way, you will be meditating time. Time that has passed, time that is now, time that will be. And the passage of time, what has it meant to me so far? What could I use as a teaching from my past time and use it for the future to make it not stand still, but make it worth my while, make it fulfill me in a better way. It seems as if this is a moment for you. It is a rite of passage. I know that we went through the equinox, but it's an extended equinox period. And again, there's the new moon on October 1st. And it will serve you well in the sense that it's like a watershed. You're thinking, okay, I'm going to start again. I know I'm not going to invent something new. I know that I'm not going to, I'm just a man, I'm just a woman. But perhaps, just for one moment, just for one short moment, I could think that I mean something and I can make a difference in this world. And these are the ideas that you toss around your head, Sagittarius, and what you ultimately come to is an idea that you're not alone. You are you, and you are a person who can make a difference. But today, you see it as part of a network, as part of a companionship, as part of a partnership. You want to be part of something. This is your ultimate idea. Now, Sagittarius, please take a moment to concentrate on letting me know which deck I could use to add to the casting. Either the Mucha Tarot, the Sexual Magic Tarot, or the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. I have the New Orleans Voodoo. Okay. I'm going to shuffle. And that's that. Okay, now let's see what comes of this. You're coming full circle. You're coming, it's as if now, you have been given a hand. You have been dealt a hand. And in the hand, there were the last three major arcana. Sun, Justice, and the World card. Okay, these are not cards that have come out in this spread with the Voodoo Tarot. They don't exist in the Voodoo Tarot. But it's as if you were dealt these three cards. in the month of August and September. And you knew that you have come full circle. And you have come full circle. You're watching yourself. You're looking at yourself in the mirror. And you know who you are, what you've done. And you have a vague idea of where you want to go. And what's interesting is that you're ready to show the world what you're made out of, because you feel that you've gone through a first cycle. Now, of course, we all have different ages. But it's as if, Sagittarius, you're experiencing it as having gone through half of your life. And for many of you, that may be the case. But it's as if you think, that's one part that I have completed. It's complete. I've closed the book. I have come full circle. This spread with the Voodoo Tarot is announcing another adventure. An adventure where you're going to become part of a team. This is your dream. And you're going to harbor that dream through the following months. November, December, January, February, March. 5 months, 4 to 5 months. Around the third month, I know this is for the month of October, around the end of the year, you're going to have a better idea of where it is you want to be going, of what family you want to be a part of in terms of work, where you will ultimately move if you're planning a move, where you want to take another vacation if it's another vacation. But by year's end, you'll find some hints. You're going to be given some kind of guidance as to where you're supposed to be in the following, then the successive 3 months. And this is what you're banking on. This is what you hope, and this is what you feel, because you really, more than ever before, want to be part of a family, part of a network, part of a large corporation, part of a team. You know, if you used to play, if you were a runner, you want to become part of a group of runners, sports associations that could run marathons together, for example, or something similar. If you did karate, you want to now become part of a team sport, doing playing basketball, baseball, soccer. And there's a part of you that is quite vain in all of this. There's a certain amount of vanity that moves you, and it's interesting to watch, to see that vanity, because you're hiding behind your vanity. You know what you're worth. You know how much you've worked. You know how you can enrich another company, a corporation, another place. You know another community. You know what your contribution can be. And you're ready. You know, you have the suit on, the gloves, the hat, the heels if you're a woman. You're ready for the look. You've even thought about what you would like to wear in that context. And this is all in the workings of the mind during the month of October. What's a very special gift that you'll be given is the gift of being able to see into the future this month of October, because if you do close your eyes, you will be able to fathom what is coming up. One part of that gift and one truth of that gift is that you will be in a partnership. It's going to be you and someone else in a business, you and someone else in a marriage, you and someone else living together. You will be in twos, this 2 by 2 by 2 by the ark, the Noah's Ark. You're going to be part of, and this is something new for many of you. Those of you, however, who are in a bond and are contemplating separating, this is a moment that you're going to use to heighten the prospects of you entering a new relationship. And you're going to do that in a very subtle manner, slowly but surely, meeting people as part of your workplace, going to a cafe, on your break, different place each time. You want to check it out, and if you like the atmosphere, you'll go back. So this is something that is slowly moving that way. It's sort of a planning phase. It's not really even something that you do as a conscious effort. It's something that your intuition brings you to do these things, as if you know what's going to happen in the near future, and you're just preparing yourself. Now, the idea of being the center of attention is not of interest to you, if it were only for yourself. What you're interested in is you being the center of attention for yourself. You're concentrating more on your ego side, what I want. I've worked too hard for others, and it's not in a negative sense that I'm saying this. You're taking care of your business, what's best for me, because now it's time for me to think about myself. And here too I see that your outward nature, your outgoing nature, this exuberance that you have, your personality, your outwardness, your outgoingness is never going to leave you. However, what does not take its place but flanks it is a sense of more responsibility that you feel. Because on the one hand, you seem to understand that the passing of time is passing, and you want to be responsible for what you can do and what you can contribute to the world, and this is going to be coming up for you in your own, even keeping that sort of vanity, almost to the level of being a little cocky, you sort of know how good you are and what you're worth, and you sort of keep, it's like buoyancy, it comes up all the time, okay? But there's a side to this that does have your feet planted very, very firmly on the ground, very firmly on the ground, so much so that you go and smell the flowers, and you pet babies on the head, you play with the dogs in the park, and take off your shoes and go barefoot on the green grass. There's something about you that wants to go around hugging trees for your groundedness. Now, there's also here a sensation that you need to celebrate more because you haven't done it as enough in the past. You need to be celebrating small incidences, small happiness, small occasions, receiving a letter from your mother, or having received a smile behind the cashier person working at the cashier's desk has smiled, and that made you happy. Let's celebrate that, little things. And this is something that's going to be prominent the month of October as well. And as I started this reading by saying that you had come full circle before October, you're going to want to come full circle then every month. It's as if you have, after doing the work in the month of October and looking at what you've done up until that time, you're going to want to use that as a measure, as a parameter, as a benchmark for how to go about things in the future. Say, you'll give yourself a time, cycles. You'd like to measure cycles for the future. Every cycle, let me stop and take stock. You're going to use that as a way of keeping your sanity and keeping your blood pressure low for those of you who have high blood pressure, and keeping healthy in terms of what you do, not giving too much, not taking too much, and trying to strike a balance in your life in terms of your free time, in terms of your home life, and in terms of your work life. Again, there are cross readings here, cross sections, and you're going to be going in and out of the idea of taking stock. And you're not exactly sure when you do that, because of course life is not a cycle of every 3 months or every month. And the calendar is a calendar because man decided to write something on paper, and 30, 28, 29, 30, or 31 days makes a month, you know. And so in your mind, that may not suffice. You may want to break it down. Then you're thinking to yourself, let me make it every time I feel sad or I feel pensive, let me start that taking stock. And so you're toying around at the end of the month in terms of how to take stock, when, and how to go about it, because you think that that would be a good thing. All in all, it seems like a very progressive month, a very positive for you month for you, Sagittarius. One in which you really do take stock, but you have a smile on your face. I hope this was of help to you, Sagittarius, and I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you that those of you who are not subscribed, but who follow me on Twitter, will be notified every time I go live through a program called Periscope. And all you have to do is log in or just follow me there, and I'll be live and I'll be talking. I'll be probably having a video on my crystals, and I'll talk to you, and you can write in a chat, and I'll be seeing that. You can ask questions, and then I'll interact with you and give you answers. And it's very agile. I love it. I just love to do that because it's something on the fly. When I'm in a Wi-Fi zone, it works best, and I try to do that at least once a day. So come and join me on Twitter. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen, Sagittarius friends, until we read together again. Bye-bye.